The debate, the return of African heritage from Europe, and the narrative of African civilization pre colonization. The movement to return African cultural artifacts, masks, sculptures, manuscripts, and more from European museums to their countries of origin has gained momentum in recent years. This is seen not only as an issue of cultural justice, but also as a way to restore African identity and heritage. However, an underlying tension exists. Sometimes, the way these artifacts are discussed in Europe or internationally can imply that African civilizations had little history or culture before European colonization, which is deeply misleading and dismissive of Africa's rich past. Why returning Africa's heritage matters. Firstly, there's the restoration of identity. Returning artifacts allows African nations to reconnect with their history on their own terms while fostering pride and cultural continuity. It corrects historical injustices. Many artifacts were taken without consent, often during violent colonial campaigns. There's educational and cultural value. Exhibiting heritage locally helps educate younger generations about their ancestors' achievements and traditions. Lastly, there's political and diplomatic recognition. The return of heritage signals a deep respect for sovereignty and counters the legacy of colonial dominance. There is the misconception about African civilization. The narrative that Africa was uncivilized before colonization is a colonial myth used to justify conquest and exploitation. Africa had complex kingdoms and empires, such as Great Zimbabwe, the Mali Empire, the Kingdom of Benin, and ancient Egypt. There were advanced technologies like written languages, the Ge'ez and CBD, and thriving arts, science, and trade networks. By focusing on artifacts during colonization, these narratives overshadow centuries of rich African history. Challenges in this debate. The European museum stance. Some argue that museums preserve global heritage and make it accessible to an international audience. Conservation concerns questions whether returning countries have adequate facilities to preserve artifacts. Legal complexities. Many artifacts were acquired legally under past laws, complicating restitution claims. Narrative framing. How the debate is framed can unintentionally reinforce stereotypes if the focus is only on colonial plunder, ignoring Africa's autonomous history. The debate on the return of African heritage is more than just objects. It's about recognizing Africa as the cradle of civilization with a rich and continuous history. Returning artifacts should be accompanied by educational efforts that highlight African achievements before colonization and challenge outdated stereotypes. The goal is to move beyond seeing Africa as only through the lens of colonialism and instead to appreciate it as a continent of diverse cultures, histories, and contributions to civilization.
Hello everyone, Makadini, and welcome to my channel. Thank you for giving me your precious time and attention. Before I forget, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel.